Well, welcome again. My name is Kevin Goebbert from Valparaiso University. I am one of the co-chairs for this year's triennial workshop. My other co-chairs are Victor Gensini from Northern Illinois University and John Allen from Central Michigan University, if they want to stand up to just wave. They're going to be helping lead various sessions over the course of these next 2 days. And so, again, welcome. Thank you for traveling. Many of you, if you traveled yesterday, maybe you did what I did and spent some time over the mountains just circling for a while as they were trying to open up ways to get the planes in around noon yesterday. So interesting day, and some were able to maybe take some rental cars and go out and do some excursions as well, and saw some hail, but that's great. So the title of our workshop that we came up with, Reducing Time to Science, Evolving Workflows for Geoscience Education and Research. So this triennial workshop, there's always this tension of both training and learning new things, and so I think that's going to hold true this week with a lot of exciting talks that we've got scheduled for you. And so we've got a couple of themes. So each day kind of has a general theme going on. And so today, Monday, is this idea of data proximate workflows. We've talked about this before. We're going to have some great examples today of ways that this is actually being used and how you can then use them potentially within your workflows as well. So as we transition to this generation of big data and not being able to download all of it and have it locally on our machines, how do we interact with it well in a cloud environment, in a server environment? And so we're going to see 3 great presentations on that today. Tomorrow is going to be about machine learning, probably one of the things I'm most excited about because I know the least about, learning how we can then take all of this data that we've got in places, whether on our local machines or on servers, and how do we figure out what it's telling us in different ways of doing this. We've got a couple of presentations on different things from radar to using Google Analytics and stuff like that, so it's going to be really exciting to see how we can expand our horizons and use technology to our advantage to help us cull through all these big data sets. And then the new kid on the block, Go16, here on Wednesday. We're going to see some great presentations introducing us to this data set and a whole bunch of the things that are new to us and exciting to us, but also how to access it and get access to this data in a reasonable framework. So look for that on Wednesday. And then Thursday, ensemble modeling. So obviously we are trying to push as a field towards this idea of probabilistic thinking. And so one of the ways we need to do that is thinking about ensemble modeling and how we then both use ensembles and visualize ensembles and then generate data from that. Then potentially using things like machine learning and data proximate workflows to do that. So the second 2 pieces of this week are going to hopefully use in some way, or at least redound back to Monday and Tuesday presentations that are a little bit more global in nature. And so we'll see how it goes. And so hopefully you're going to learn a lot through these presentations and gather interesting questions and ways that you may evolve your workflows as you move into the future. And so on each day, at the end of the day, we have a session that's called Taking It Home. And so it's going to be anywhere between a half hour and 45 minutes of time that the presenters will be around, that you can then engage with them with data that you might have or issues that you're struggling with to figure out how you can take some of these pieces that you're learning here and work it into your new workflows or into your processes as a researcher or an educator. So I hope that's going to be really exciting and useful for you all. I'm looking forward to it myself. And so the presentation formats. Presentations, we told the speakers that they can do whatever they wanted within that hour framework. And so it's going to be a mix of lectures where some will be just more up here talking about the opportunities because it wasn't able to scale down to a workshop type environment. But then there will be others that will be highly interactive, that will get you running some computer code and maybe interacting with some data sets in new and meaningful ways. So look for a great mix of presentations this week. Again, just reiterating the tension between training and learning about new concepts. It's going to be something you're going to struggle with all week. Try to reside in that struggle. That's okay. It's a good place to be because that means you're learning new things and expanding your frontiers. And again, the Taking It Home sessions, I hope, will be useful. Invariably, though, throughout all of these presentations, especially when we're running code or doing things with the computer, you're likely going to run into problems. And that is why we have the green and red/orange sticky notes at your table. So at this time, if you could pass those around and everyone grab 1 green and 1 orange sticky note if you don't already have one. And so this is a technique that's used by software carpentry that I have adopted for some of my own coursework and that I know Unidata uses well for many of their training exercises. It's a great way to signal if you're struggling with something so that somebody who is in the room, and there are many people in the room who are very comfortable with most of all the technologies we're going to be using this week, can come by and help you out so that you don't have to be stuck there through the presentation or feel like you're going to hold up the presentation. And so if you run into problems, go ahead and put up that orange or red sticky note, because that will indicate to us without you having to sit there raising your hand. You can still be typing away, trying things, and then somebody will be by to help you out and try to get you over whatever hurdle you're facing. You can also then put up the green sticky note when things are going well, especially if we're working on an activity in a session that we're waiting on people, with the internet speed, it may run slow when we're trying to get 70 people all downloading the same data set at a time, and so we may be looking for an indication as to when everything's working well and when we've made it beyond a certain step. And so you can go ahead and put that green sticky note up, okay? And so we can utilize those well. And then at the end of the day, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to fill out these red and green sticky notes. The green one listing something that went well or that you learned today that you wanted to share with us, as specifically the chairs. And then a red one, something that you're still struggling with or needed more information on or that didn't go well, just so we can, again, iterate on the training workshop for future needs and or change things up for the future days of this workshop. Okay, and so we'll look at those quickly at the end of each day. Any questions about the red and green sticky notes? All right, great. All right, so instead of me talking this whole time during the introduction, we're going to do a quick meet and greet. Obviously, you're sitting around people that you might not have met. You may have met them through the kind of getting yourself set up this morning, but go ahead and just turn to your neighbor or those sitting around you, whether in front or in back, introduce yourself, who you are, where you come from, and something that you're really excited to learn about this week. And so we'll give you 3 or 4 minutes to do this, and then we'll come back and get going.
Hi. Will, Daniel. I'm Daniel. I'm from Unidata. So we
for decades. I came to that point.
Okay. Yeah.
We have had people on our galleries for many years.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Ryan. Nice to meet you. From UMass. You from Unidata. Oh, okay.
Very closely.
You may know. Dennis Hines, big nerd. Yes, I do. Is he around this week?
He's actually
He's not usually working in the office, but if you need to meet up with him,
on vacation.
I'd just be interested to pick his brain. So we got this ticket open that's assigned to him, and I don't know if they've got a timeline to solve it, but we also have funds available at UMass which could solve this issue if it was on long time spans. So I don't know if that would be interesting for him.
I think
Yeah. Lee.
Yeah, I was just there. I was mostly with the
NWT conference was Denver.
When did you get in? Yesterday. Yeah. But after this tournament, so it was supposed to land at 3:20, and yeah.
Currently, we don't have.
So do you work more on the meteorological stuff, or?
I'm more on the Python stuff.
Oh, cool.
And my background is in meteorology, so I did all 3 degrees in meteorology. Actually managing science, so with the software engineer route.
Okay.
So I know the Met stuff. Well, I learned the Met stuff at one point.
Yeah. Okay.
Still knowing it's a different. My brain's all full of Python.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Just like that?
So another 30 seconds.
Our roles are, we give him science, equations,
Yeah. That's a fun job.
Really, anytime he's there.
Actually, we are the opposite. I'm
You get the science and you don't have to worry about it as much. You can just
and I work at the
what you'd
software.
expect them to do. With technical stuff, there's
So
lots
I'm
of
trying to
science
learn
stuff there,
programming.
jobs like that are kind of worthy of envy.
yeah, so, and then we go back and forth and check.
How long did you
Get some numbers.
Yeah. There, look, there are all these things. They're formatted floating points.
Exactly. It's a wonderful
Yeah. You do like the prototype.
I flew from South California, Redland. It's the headquarters of the software. Redland.
Yeah, they use Fortran under the hood. That's what I love about I love the language because you really focus on the gist of what you're working on rather than nuts and bolts.
Yeah. The Redland is 1 hour to the east.
Yeah.
About 1
I mean,
hour.
Fortran, I learned Fortran too at university.
It's on the way to
I'm from a geoscience
just
Absolutely.
more kind of similar.
This is connected to this, right?
Science background,
it's not so
more into technical stuff. So at UMass I
Switch?
am
I know.
Go, how are you? Actually, I don't do mirror. I don't do most of the QR things.
Yeah, so luckily we don't have to travel through.
A lot of subcontractors. And it's actually
Yeah.
when I first started, I thought that's going to be dumb because we end up throwing out a lot of money for stuff that we could implement ourselves. But in the space context, it actually does make sense.
Convenience,
Quality
though,
requirements.
not so convenient.
Then it makes sense to say, okay, we're going to audit quality here, and they audit quality there, and we just check that they did it, in that way. Have this
All right, so I hope you've all met some new folks and some hopefully new friends as we begin this week of work together. So before we move on to Mohan's talk here to get us started with a little more background on Unidata and past training workshops, does anybody want to share something that they're really excited about learning this week? See, I'm a teacher, so of course, these teaching things are going to come out. And you're acting just like my students right now. All right, so excited to learn about how machine learning is related to aspects of meteorology. That is probably one of my most exciting things as well. Anybody else? One more? Just glad to be in Boulder for a week. That's also acceptable. So. All right, great. Again, welcome from the three of us co-chairs. If you do need anything throughout this week, feel free to reach out to any one of us. John, Victor, myself, or any of the Unidata staff will help try to meet whatever need you do need throughout this week. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I think that's true for both presentations as well as any logistical things that might be going on. So any questions? Anybody still struggling with getting their machines up and running and ready to go for the presentations that will begin around 11? Excellent. This has been one of the smoothest years in terms of getting technology ready ever, so that's really exciting. All right, so then next up we have Mohan Ramamurthy, Director of Unidata, who's going to kick us off here with talking about Unidata workshops, present, past, and future. If it comes up. There it goes.